There is a movie coming to a theater near you this summer that is not your typical, well, Hollywood film.
Back in the fall of 2006, I was actually working against Sarah Palin. I didn't feel she could be governor. I didn't feel she was strong enough. I didn't feel she had the gravitas. I didn't feel that she understood all of the issues, and thought, there is no way she can take on this machine. And everybody knew that, I don't think she's the person to do it.
Sarah had courage to try. She had taken on the system already. She was right, and the public knew that she was right, and had the courage to take it on before that became evident, I think, was what propelled her forward.
The Undefeated chronicles of Sarah Palin's time as governor of Alaska and her bursting onto the national stage after being picked as John McCain's running mate in 2008. Now, it hits theaters July the 15th, and the movie's director, Stephen Bannon, joins us right now. Stephen, how are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you, Sean.
How did you even got Mark Levin in this movie? How'd you do that?
First film ever, because Mark Levin has a lot to say in context of what
really
Sarah Palin says, so that's why it was great to have him.
You know, it's interesting. We talked about this earlier in the program. I mean, 24,000 emails released. You got 30 reporters, you know, multiple cameras. You got, you know, the New York Times, Washington Post digging through these 24,000 pages. They never did this to Barack Obama. She goes on tour up the East Coast. Look at the crowds. What is it? You spent, what, 2 years with her?
I spent a year and a half observing her in the Tea Party movement, and we've made this film in about 9 months. So about over 2 years, really watching Governor Palin or seeing her in the whole movement of the Tea Party. The reason she draws this kind of fire, she's an existential threat to the establishment. At every level, whether it's Wasilla, whether it's Alaska, whether it's the Tea Party movement, she is on the side of the people. She represents working class and middle class values, and that the vested interests in our country are scared to death of her.
You know, and the other thing that I mentioned, she is a threat. They do fear her. There is a deep dislike for her, almost unprecedented.
It's a pathology.
It's a pathology.
It's worse than a dislike. It's a pathology.
It's a hatred.
Our film is unrated.
Well, I saw I saw when you start the film, you have all these attacks. How long does that go on for?
It goes for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And the version that AMC, ARC Entertainment, and AMC is having in Cinedigm, it's going to be PG-13. We're going to mask that, what you saw. But I'm going back to 2 editions before that, and I'm going to add in all the stuff we have and have it for 3 minutes on unrated version on DVD.
People need to see this.
They need to see it. It is a pathology that this woman draws, and the reason is because she's a threat to the establishment.
Well, the other thing that really stands out to me, and I've gotten to know Governor Palin, she has courage. She's got a lot of guts. And the other thing is she does things on her terms. Twitter, Facebook, and if, you know what, she's like, I'm not giving Katie Couric another interview.
Right.
I'm like, who else is saying this?
Right.
And there are other Republicans, I think, that think somehow if they are nice to the media, that they're going to be nice to them. She's like, they'll always hate me. They'll always hate them.
Look, one of the reasons I wanted to make the film is that I went to Harvard Business School and worked at Goldman Sachs, and I kept hearing this woman mocked while I was watching her in the Tea Party movement. She's as smart and as tough and as courageous as anybody I've had the pleasure to work with or anybody I've been around. I mean, this is a very smart woman, very unconventional, very unconventional, does it by her own rules, and that's what the film shows. And by the way, this clip we just had, Meg Stapleton, who became one of her closest advisors, Meg worked against her when she first ran because of this. Governor Palin's always been underestimated. They don't think she has the gravitas. They don't think she knows the issues. They don't think she can match up with her opponents.
Does that mean, well, first of all, do you have any inclination? Because I'm trying to read this. I mean, I've even probed in emails. Maybe they'll show up in the 24,000. You know, Governor, you think you're going to run? And, you know, I don't get an answer. And she's everything she says to me on air, she says off.
Right.
After studying her and putting this film together, do you think she's going to run?
Here's what I think is important. I think that's why I have Andrew Breitbart and Mark Levin and Tammy Bruce at the end of the film to pull the camera back and set Governor Palin in context of where we are today. I think it's incredibly important to have a primary like the 1976 President Reagan versus the establishment. We need to have a fight in the Republican Party for the soul of the conservative movement.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
The soul of the conservative movement. Whether it's only Governor Palin will come to that conclusion, I think, through prayer and consultation with her family. But if she's not in it as a candidate, we need her spirit in it. We need to have this fight now.
If the Republican Party doesn't get tough enough and stand on the Tea Party conservative values, it will cease to exist as a party because the Tea Party will break off.
It's the moral equivalent of the Whigs before the Civil War. That is a party that has now gotten away from its bearings, its roots, and needs to have those rejuvenated. In this primary, we need this primary to do that.
If she does run and wins the primary, I say she beats Barack Obama. And there's very few people that...
If she does run and wins the primary, it'll be a title match like Frazier Ali. I mean, it'll be...
To quote a phrase, she'll be misunderestimated. Right? But seriously, I mean, I think she will be underestimated.
By the way, I think it's one of the benefits. I think she likes being underestimated.
Oh, I agree.
She can sneak up on them. So I think it's...
Are you sure you went to Harvard Business School?
So did...
It's too normal to have gone to Harvard Business School. I didn't, you know... Yeah. No, I'm serious, and I'm not. Well, yeah.
Well, I was a naval officer first, so that was my normal.
Right, that's what. See,
my normalcy came from the Naval
but you were normal before you went there, and strong enough mentally that you wouldn't cave in. All right, so this is going to be out July 15th.
It's very unusual for a documentary to be in theaters in the summer.
Yeah.
We've got AMC theaters, Cinedigm, the great digital.
How many theaters around the country?
We're going to start in 10 markets, and we're going to go up. If Cinedigm's committed to put this in 1,000 theaters, if we can generate the interest in it. So
awesome. Well, we'll be reminding people as we get closer. Congratulations. I got to see the film. Thank you. It's awesome, and I would recommend everyone see it.
Thanks, Sean.
All right, man. Thanks very much. That is